Hi guys, just giving you a little bit of an overview of what we're going to be doing over the next 5 weeks. Obviously, it will be much nicer for me to be in the classroom with you. However, we're going to have to do this remotely over the next few weeks, and we're going to be looking at personal finance. So we're going to do 5 different weeks looking at different areas of personal finance and managing money, so you've got a lot more information about different ways of paying, looking at kind of debt, looking at keeping yourself safe, how to spend money, and we're going to do different things each week. So this week we're going to be looking at how can you pay for things. So you need to be able to understand different ways of paying. How can you use your bank account? What are the positives and negatives of the payment methods that we're going to be looking through. You've got a fact booked with all the information that you need to learn, but we'll go through in a little bit more depth today and look at some activities you can actually complete. So why are we learning about finance? You need to be able to have the skills and knowledge to not only manage your money whilst you are in school, but once you get out of school and go to college or university, you will be expected to manage your own money. The older you get, the less involvement your parents will have. So you need to be able to be confident, know what you are doing, make sensible choices in your decisions, and also make sure that actually you are managing your money well, because that will link to your personal well-being. Also, it obviously prepares you for adult life, and you can look at kind of like long-term and short-term and things that you might want to plan for in the future. So a little bit about budgeting as well. So how should we pay? So we're going to be looking at little scenarios about how you can pay for certain things. And the first one that I want you to do is I want you to look at Alex. Okay, so Alex wants to buy certain items. What I would like you to do is I would like you to load the website address, which is just at the bottom here. You need to go on to the interactive, it looks a little bit like this actually, the interactive screen. It's got a yellow background, and if you just press start, it will guide you through an interactive activity with Alex about using debits and credit cards. It gives you a little bit of information about what they are, and it also gives you 2 little assessments as well. So once you've done your assessments, if you write down the scores that you've got for both of them, I think they're both out of 5, you can then give me your scores at the end of the lesson. This will take you about 10 minutes to do. Okay, so I'm going to leave you to get on with that now. Hopefully you've done it, you've got some good scores. If you didn't get 5 out of 5 for each one, it doesn't matter. The more you do over the next 5 weeks, the more information and knowledge you will have. So we're going to look at different payment methods today, which is the most appropriate way. So a little bit about looking at Alex, about, should he use a debit card, should he use a credit card, and also look at the kind of language that's related to credit and debit, because it is slightly different to the way you think it is possibly in your head. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to look at the little clips, and it just plays you through some scenarios or some ways in which children think that actually money is used for, okay, and things that you can pay. It will probably take you, I think, about 5 minutes maybe, only because you've got to load it all up. So if I give you like 10 minutes, you need to listen to the videos, list all the ways you can pay for items, and just keep that written down. Okay, so you should have some concept now of the different types of ways that you can pay, whether it's a debit or credit. What we're going to be looking at now is you need to be looking at your fact sheet book, and you will have different ways in which you can pay. Now, what I would like you to do is I would like you to draw. You can either do it on the computer and insert a table and do it that way, or you can draw it on a piece of paper, but you need to have a table that's got your payment methods down one side and advantages and disadvantages of each. I think you should be able to get at least 2 of each. If you get more, that's absolutely fabulous, but if you can get 2 for each, that would be brilliant. So looking at your bank cards, looking at your store cards, looking at cash, looking at online payments, look at the good things and bad things about those. It should take you about 10 minutes. So I will leave you for about 10 minutes to get on with it and make sure that you don't have to write in lots and lots of detail, but writing in full sentences would be good. Okay, now you've got a little bit of information about debit cards and your credit cards and looking at, checks, paying online. The newest thing over the last 5 years has come out really is looking at contactless cards. Now, some of you may have a contactless card, some of you might not. Okay, so when you go into a shop, you don't always have to put your card into the chip and pin machine. You can just swipe it over and it will let you pay for goods up to £30. So all you need to do is swipe it over and it will take it automatically out of your account. You can pretty much pay for anything and everything using it, apart from it's got a limit on. Okay, you can use it for your credit cards as well, but you do need to be aware, again, looking at limits that you're allowed to use. What I want you to do now this is going to take you a little bit longer, okay, because this is where you've got to look at the cost of things that people actually might buy or pay for on a monthly basis or a weekly basis. And we're going to be looking at the Williams family. They've got a family budget and they've got a certain amount of money that comes into their home. There's certain things that they want to pay for, and it's, how do they pay for it? Do they use a debit card where they're paying for it straight away, or are they going to use a credit card and are they going to pay for it at a later date? Now, always remember that if you're using a credit card, you're not going to pay for it now, but you've got to pay for it at some point. And obviously you're going to have to pay a little bit more money on top, which is called interest. And the longer you pay it back, the more interest you will pay. So what you need to do is you need to draw this little table, or if you've got a printer, you can print it out. That's absolutely fine. No problem about that at all. And you probably need a calculator as well. I think you're probably going to need a calculator. If you also look at on the left hand side, it tells you on certain days the things that they are that they've used it for. So on the 28th, it gives you an example that they did a supermarket shop for £80 and they're going to use their debit card. It tells you how to deduct the money. So if you had a £2,000 balance, take away £80 that you've spent, because remember your debit card takes it out straight away, you are left with a new balance of £1,920. Now there are a couple little things that you need to think about. There are some things which are related to this account. They've got an overdraft limit of £100. So if they need to spend more money than they've got in their account, they're allowed to go up to a negative £100. They've got a credit card limit as well of £1,000. So they can use up to £1,000, but they can't use it anything over than that. Also, there's a little extension activity, take it further. Unfortunately, the family car's broken down and the repairs are going to cost £365, which obviously is a lot of money, okay? But they've only got £200 left in the family bank account. What can they do to cover this cost? It's a family car. They'll probably need to get to work. They'll probably need it to run their children around. So think about their best situation to do this. Okay, I think this is going to take you about 15 minutes to do. So I'm going to leave you for about 15 minutes and see how you get on. Remember, you are deducting money. You've got to make sure that you are writing on your right hand side whether you're going to use a credit or debit card. If you use a debit card, you have to take the money straight away, so the balance will go down. If it's a credit card, then the balance will remain the same because they are not paying for it straight away. Okay, so that probably took you a little bit longer than you thought it might do, but once you get into it, it comes a little bit easier, okay? So you should, by the end of this lesson, understand the basic ways of paying for things, okay? We have looked at using a bank account, but we will look at that in a little bit more detail. I think it's on week 3 where we look at different types of bank accounts. But if you are using a debit card, that will be using your bank account, your current account. And also you've looked at the positive and negatives of these payment methods. So looking at things like cash. If you're using cash, it's great. You can pay for things straight away. You know where you are. It's easier to budget with. But what if you lose it? Okay, or what if you go somewhere and you've not got quite enough money or enough cash on you? Looking at the positive and negatives of using your debit and credit card. So your debit card, it goes straight away out of your bank account, but it's easier to manage. You know where you are at. Credit card, it's brilliant. You can use it online. Things are insured actually with a credit card. So if something goes wrong, or they're broken, or they don't get delivered, or they're lost and stolen, then you can contact your credit card company and they should look at your insurance cover, which should reimburse you with the money. So when we come back next week, I will be giving you a little tiny test or a little bit of a kind of a recall on the different methods of payments and also some positive and negatives. So the first thing you'll come back to do is a little starter activity on your bank payments. So look at your fact sheet, do a little bit of revision, test yourself with some knowledge, and I will see you and come back to you next week. Keep safe. Speak to you next week. Bye.